Hello. Go ahead.
Oh no. We're gonna do an interview for you guys. We are here with Solomon, and we are gonna talk about partnerships.
Absolutely. So, hello, welcome.
Oh, I think you need to move in. Your people can't see you.
Absolutely. You know what? They see me all the time. If they miss a little bit of me, I think they're gonna be okay with that. But you know what? I reached out to you guys, and I thought that everybody realizes that in life, if you want to do something great, and if you want to achieve something of value, collaboration and partnerships are key.
Yes, agreed.
Hands down, right? Nothing great. If you go back, look at the history, if you look at what's happening in the world right now, nothing is done by a single person.
Yeah.
There has to be alignment, there has to be allies. And so I thought reaching out to someone who actually has this in their life, rather than just talking about it, they have this in their life. And I found it very profound that you guys not only have a partnership between two people, you guys are sisters.
Yes.
You know,
Yes.
which makes it even more interesting and a different dynamic.
Yes. Different for sure.
Yeah, and I would definitely agree. Being sisters has added so many different layers on top of, learning each other, learning our relationship, and then working in synergy. Because I agree that definitely teams are amazing, right? 1 + 1 can equal 3 if you are able to create that synergy. But if not, you also have the flip side of you can be working against each other as well if you don't learn to develop that relationship, right?
Absolutely. So in this video, I think people who are watching, they're going to get a lot of value and a lot of benefit out of it. Absolutely. So if you are someone who wants to do something in life or achieve anything, like, success is a vague word. If you want to establish a relationship, if you want to establish a business, if you want to start a cause that's very close to your heart, all those things require the right people to come to your life.
100%.
Right?
Yeah, 100%. You can't do anything completely on your own. You don't necessarily need a partner where you're heading the project with, but you definitely need a good team of people. Mm-hmm. And anything can be done with the right team of people.
So to tell you guys, we've got experts in the house, as we were just talking about, and we'll be discussing some of the things which they have gone through and learned. And for you guys who are watching, you're going to get a lot of value, because what you're going to take from here today, you'll be able to apply in your life, whatever arena you're in. And on top of that, if you are not in a situation of collaboration, I'm definitely, after this, you will be reaching out to people you want to collaborate with.
Yes.
Because it's going to help you out. Or if you are in collaboration, you're going to try to fix it. And if it's not working, you're going to try to change it. So on that note, please, I have the honor to introduce Jessica and Veronica. They're both sisters, as you could tell. And so I met...
How could you tell?
What do you look like?
And so Jessica, I met you how many, like 4 or 5 years ago?
Ooh, a long time ago. We actually met in Toastmasters. Toastmasters. I don't even know how many years ago that was.
Like 4 or 5 years ago.
Probably.
It's an amazing public speaking club, and if you guys want to improve on public speaking, definitely check out that club. It was amazing, and that's how I met Jessica. And when I met her, I could realize, she had a vibrant energy. She kind of stood out in the crowd. So that's always good. Absolutely. And here she is. That's why we're sitting together today.
Yes.
So you know what? I rant a lot. I'm known for that. So I'm going to be a little bit more quiet, or at least I'll try. And I have a few questions for both of you.
For sure. And maybe what we could do for our viewers, if you could give yourself a little bit of an intro too, so they know who you are, that would be fantastic. Because he's got an amazing stuff that he's working on. I'll let him give his intro so that you guys know who he is.
Yeah, absolutely. So my Instagram page is Harris Mentoring, and what I'm really passionate about, my motto is I want to eliminate mental and emotional pain from this planet. And that...
Amazing mission.
Yeah, absolutely. We suffer in our life primarily because of what's in our brain and what we think and what our mindset is, and that affects how we feel, and that is the biggest reason relationships in this world are failing miserably.
Yes.
Households are splitting, marriages are splitting, kids are not happy, kids are suffering. A lot of the suffering comes from our mind and from the heart.
Yes,
definitely.
100%. I say this all the time. It's the wounded heart. Mm-hmm. And it's interesting now, because thinking is supposed to be something that you can use as a gift to help get you to the next stage of growth and enlightenment. But we're now in a time where thinking has almost become a little bit of a disease, right? Where we need to learn how to shut it down and slow things down a little bit.
Absolutely. So that's about me. What about you guys? So you guys are the stars today. Tell us a little bit about yourself.
Okay, so we have two companies. They're sister companies. We have Neven Hair and Beauty, and we also have Dollar Eyelash Club.
Right.
So just kind of, maybe you talk about Dollar Eyelash Club or Neven?
Sure, yeah, whichever. Yeah, go ahead. You can start with Neven.
Okay, so with Neven, we actually have this hair care that we created. It's all made here in Canada.
Mm-hmm.
We started, or I guess the idea came in 2011.
Mm-hmm.
We spent 3 years doing some research and development, and we've created a really high-end premium line with amazing ingredients that are designed in getting your hair to the most beautiful, healthy state ever.
Yeah. And
I'm gonna sorry I'm interrupting. I'm gonna be talking to you guys right after that because my life is all about my hair. But go on, please.
Yeah, you have beautiful hair.
Yeah, you got great
too.
hair. You got great hair.
And I think the biggest thing with Neven, how Neven was born, is we really wanted to change the world through hair and beauty. We really feel that hair and beauty is more than just what you see on the outside,
Yeah.
but really is a outlet for people to express who they really are. And so for the name Neven, where that came from was the phrase inventa y tu mundo, which in Latin means invent your world. So really we're very passionate about giving people an opportunity to just be who they want to be, really is what it is. Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
You know what's really cool is a lot of, like, some people are doing, hair and they're into the beauty industry, but they just want to do for the outside physical manifestation. But you guys have a deeper purpose, which is key, right?
Yes.
Yes.
I always say your style isn't a 10 out of 10 unless it suits you, brands you, and is practical for your life. What's most important to us is helping people to fall in love with the person that they see when they look in the mirror. Yeah.
Inside and outside. Right?
Inside and outside. And if you viewers at home want to try some of this product for yourself, we do a monthly product giveaway. If you go to www.neven.com/giveaway, we do a draw every single month, and all of these products are amazing.
And do you guys, like, if somebody, like a lot of people on my social media are in East Coast, if they want to order something, can they order online?
Oh yeah.
Yeah?
Oh yeah, we ship all across North America.
Yeah. So you know what, guys? I mean, you are seeing amazing hair already. So I mean, it's not the word. You see it happening in front of you, right?
Yeah.
Absolutely. Okay. So, can I take this opportunity to ask a few questions on the topic of partnership, if I may?
Yes.
That's okay with that?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So the first one goes as this. I see there's a common consensus, that if you're in a close relationship with somebody, if there's family, I keep on hearing this growing up, never get into business with family. They're like, that's a big no-no. Don't get into business with your brother, with your sister, with your dad. That's a recipe for disaster. And a lot of people hear it all the time. So I want to hear, what is your take on that from both of you? Like, you guys are doing it, you guys are making it happen, and you guys are, of course, succeeding.
Well, you know what? Just like anything else, whatever kind of relationship, you touched on this a little earlier, whether that be with family or friends or a business partner, whatever, you have to begin with the end in mind. The very first thing is, if you guys don't want the same thing, then you're going to engineer something from the start that's bound to be, it's going to distract. And no matter what, there's always going to be challenges. You have to learn how to communicate with one another. There's a lot of gifts in working together because obviously you're both really different, and so you are able to play on each other's skills a lot. But the challenge that comes with that is you have to really learn how to respect that you guys are different, right?
Definitely. And I feel, echoing that as well too, you do have to have a common goal. Like, I don't think it's just family or friends that you can't do business with. Even if that person is a stranger that you're working with, or even somebody you're hiring into your team, it's so important that you have the common goals, you like each other for one, because you're going to be spending so much time with this person. And it's no different than anything else. I say choosing a business partner or starting a business with somebody is like a marriage, right? It is so much about getting to know that person, loving that person, working with that person, and there are hard times. They're really, we have tons of stories in terms of in terms of our relationship and how this has gone. We're sisters. We used to share a room together. So you can imagine, as we've grown up into our adult life and, birthing our Neven baby and Dollar Eyelash Club, is that, there's been a lot of struggles, but as long as you guys want the same things and you're both willing to put in the work, I definitely think working with friends and family can work, right? It's just a matter of, it's got to be the right marriage.
Yeah, the one thing I really love about working with a family member, or I guess it just happens that she's been my family, but if she was just a friend, I'd feel the same way, is that I could trust her. Like, I can go traveling and I can just leave, and I can know that she'll make the exact same decision that I would make, right? You also have to understand this person has access to all of your bank accounts and all of your personal information, right? So trust is a big thing to have there. I think the biggest learning for me, and I think for her too, is that we had to learn how to really separate our business time and personal time. Because it's easy, especially when you're sisters. I think what the biggest challenge is that when you're talking, you talk all the time. Like, it could be first thing in the morning, it could be at night, and then business starts to infiltrate everything, or else the opposite, fun starts to infiltrate everything. And it's like, how do you stay on course, right? So for us, we had to really develop boundaries and a system. We only talk about business during business hours. Like, there was a lot of growing pains that we had to go through, so to speak.
That's a nice way to put it.
Yeah.
That's interesting, because I've met very few people who are closely bonded with each other. For instance, you guys, and they're running something successful and they're happy. You know,
Yes.
they're not bickering at each other.
That's the key, happiness.
Happiness, right?
Yeah.
They're content. Because a
Yeah.
lot of people are doing it and they might be making a lot of money, but they're miserable inside.
Yes.
Yes.
I think that's very important.
Well, I think that's a model for anything you do in life, really. I say, it's one thing to have outer abundance, but without that inner abundance, it's not worth it, really.
Okay.
Definitely.
So now that you've shared that, of course, it's evident that you guys have this going on in a very successful and happy and internally fulfilled way. What do you think is there must be a roadmap, or there must be some secrets to amalgamating, of course, sisters growing up, living together, you have an emotional bond, right? And then when you come to business, it's all financially driven. A lot of business decisions are financially driven. It comes with numbers, which is a very logical process, right?
Yes.
And then you have this emotional bond, and then you have logical process. How did you make it work such that those two facets didn't pull each other in the other direction? Like, if there's a roadmap, or there's some recipes or some things you've learned, what would they be?
Well, for me, you just have to be really conscious all the time. I think the easiest downfall, or I guess the most common thing that happens, is with people that you're really close with, sometimes you're not as considerate. And I don't mean considerate that, I guess what I mean by that is that when you're talking to someone, like, let's say you and me are talking, I'm going to be really methodical about the words that I choose. And even if I'm trying to deliver a harder message, I'm going to try to find words and deliver it with a little bit more tact. With my sister, sometimes, you're just so used to talking to each other that you just deliver your message however it was, not even really thinking, like, oh, she might perceive this in the wrong way. So the biggest thing is, like, taking that extra second to make sure that, is this the best way to deliver my message, and how will she perceive it? And know that, of course, there's going to be times that you don't see eye to eye, but it's really just maintaining that respect for one another. Right?
Yes, definitely. And so, like, the quality of your communication is the quality of your life, right? So pretty much just learning how to be very balanced in that. I think in any life endeavor, not just business, like, it is always a combination of your mind and your heart. So the emotions plus the logical, right? If we can come into a balance of that, I feel like that's the best way to navigate through business, life, any sort of decision. Because here's the thing, we're not just strictly logical people. We're all human. We all have hearts. And then we're not just strictly, we can't just operate only out of love and happiness without a logical plan behind that as well, right? So it has to be an even balance of both, and we have to communicate with each other with the balance of, mind and heart.
Yeah. I think it goes back to what we were saying at the beginning, is that you need to begin with the end in mind. So I think something that really helped me at the beginning is, if we were ever butting heads for whatever reason, it's reminding ourselves that we want the same end. There's more than one way always to get to the same path or the same end goal. So if we want different paths or have different ideas, that's okay. We have to just really respect each other, and maybe there's a way that we can bridge that gap and have both. Take both routes, right?
So how did you make it work? Now what you said something which got stuck in my head. You said you have to kind of you have to respect that person and also communicate with them mindfully, knowing that they're your sister. For instance, if I was in a partnership with my brother To be honest with you, like, you know,
Throwing punches.
if I need something done, and you guys like live together, like in the same room as you're saying, if I have to get something, I'm like, dude, like get it done right. Like what the hell? I'm like, cause I know he's my family, he's gonna put with a lot more.
Yes,
Put up with
exactly.
a lot more. I will be okay having a more emotional reaction, right? There's
Yes.
less need to control that desire to like for the outburst.
Right. Well, and that's exactly it. You have to learn self-control because there's at the beginning and even times we're all human beings. Even if you're working with staff, there's going to be times where emotions are high, but you have to learn how to just manage that. So something that really helped me is you have to think of your business or whatever project you're working on as a baby. Right? Like if it's just a regular baby. So then it's no longer about me, what I want for the baby or what she wants for the baby. It's like, what does the baby need to survive? Right? It takes you completely out of it. Like you have to really learn to not take things so personally.
Right.
Right? Like at the end of the day, we want the baby to survive.
Right.
Yeah, it's not about ego. And once you understand that, it takes away all that extra stuff. Right?
And you know, learned behavior is such a big factor in this because we've grown up together from little kids. We used to share a room together. You know, as sisters, I laugh with my clients that have sisters because they understand. Like sisters behave differently with each other than they even do with their best friends, right? So we had a lot of learned behavior from us growing up that we had to reprogram because exactly like what you said, there'd be times that, you know, you would talk to your sister in a different way than I would talk to a colleague or even a best friend, right? Because you just have that different family dynamic. And so for us, we did have to work a lot on how to separate the two. Like we've gone through times where in our relationship, we only would talk business, no personal stuff, because we needed to reframe how our relationship was. And then there's been times in a relationship that we've only done personal stuff and we haven't talked any business stuff whatsoever unless we absolutely needed it. But again, just to create that divide, to understand that the relationship business-wise and personally is different.
Yeah. You basically got to put your hats on, right? Like if I was the CEO today and I'm going to go talk to my financial officer, my CFO, how are you going to deliver that message? Right? It's like it's the face of the person that's wearing the hat is irrelevant. It's like this person is someone else that you're trying to operate a company with.
You know what? I have the mic here, which I'm sure is collecting everything, but
Okay.
it's gonna be better now. It's gonna be better now. Okay. So, are you guys saying that you guys never had any kind of outburst?
Oh my God, no.
Oh,
Of course
Let's
not.
be real, yeah?
Yeah, of course we've had it. That's why we're doing these exercises because there were so many outbursts.
Yeah. Actually, a really useful exercise for people to do at home if you are working with someone that you need to kind of try to get on the same wavelength is switch days, switch lives for a few weeks.
Oh yeah.
Or a few days even. Like fill out each other's schedules.
Right.
And do what the other person needs to do. That gives you a little bit of insight and
really
understand.
putting the other person's shoes on. Yeah.
Right? Because I think oftentimes why people get in a fight is that they want something quicker and they're thinking it's not happening as quick as I want it to, or it's not executing at the level that they think it needs to be executing, or it's not unfolding as the way that they thought it was going to be. So it's like, okay, well, why don't you try? And let's just see like what kind of struggles you come across, and you all of a sudden have a new lens of compassion.
Yeah.
Right?
Understanding.
Understanding.
Yeah, gratitude. Right. That's very, very key.
Yeah.
Interesting, very interesting.
Yeah.
Like, you know, as you guys are talking, I'm like in my head, I'm thinking, could I ever do that with my own brother? I'm just like, I don't know. It's gonna be tough. It
Yeah.
is challenging, very challenging, right?
Again, and the key is if you want the same thing in the end,
And, yeah.
you'll figure it out.
Yeah.
Right? Because that's the thing that we've always known is we've always wanted the same things. Like we're similar in a lot of ways, but we're also really different in a lot of ways. Right? But when you can learn to bridge those gaps, like it's actually amazing. Like her skill set is completely different than mine. So it's like if we can combine those two, like you have like a mega human. Right?
Yeah,
Of
absolutely.
skills, that you
Absolutely.
can draw on.
Absolutely. I like the term mega human.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
Mega
Yeah.
human. That's
Yeah.
good.
Okay, so now when it comes to decision making, you know,
Yeah.
of course, if you're in a business, you have to make some very hard decisions at times. Right?
Yes.
You know, so when it comes to making critical decisions, sometimes you have to be very harsh and direct. Like, you know, things have come to the point where you just have to communicate it in a very direct way,
Yes.
where emotion is out of the door. Like there's no emotion, it just needs to go out and the communication needs to happen. Has that ever impacted your personal relationship? Like, of course you guys are sisters, and I'm sure there must be times that either one of you had to make a very strong and harsh decision and had to be very direct about it. Share on that. And also, if you don't mind sharing a few examples on what happened or what was the issue that you guys were facing.
Yes. And we've definitely butt heads a lot before. I think that, again, it's going back to you guys wanting the same goals. So something that has really helped us, I think, is we have 3 goals. These are the 3 things that we're working on for the next year or next couple of years or whatever. And so when you have a new idea, because it's easy. When you are creating a company, I think all of those people are natural visionaries. It's like, oh, fancy thing, I want to do this, I want to do that. And it's like, we're really emotional about it because we're just excited. That's just who you are by nature. And so I think she does really well. She's just like, is it a part of these 3 things? Okay, no. So it's not even
off the table.
It's off the table. It's just a logical decision.
Right.
It's just, that's what it is. Yeah.
Yeah, and I think for us, kind of echoing what we've been talking about in terms of being too harsh or construed that way, that it did happen for us because we were treating everything more personally than we were as a business decision. And sometimes it was more of our personal relationship that was coming into this, that we would maybe be offended by something that might have just been a normal feedback type of conversation with somebody else between us might have been a little bit more emotionally driven. So, I mean, we've really worked together on really, again, like we've been talking, being able to separate that, because like what my sister had said, we have this baby now, what's the best decision for the baby? It's not baby. About what do I want, what does she want. It's really about, hey, we're raising this baby together, and what's the best for that. And we've gone through what we call therapy, right? Like seriously, like we've had to learn how to communicate with each other in a proper way that wasn't offensive or that wasn't harsh, or that we could receive the message well, right?
Well, it's just like this. Okay, if any of you are parents at home, you would understand this, or if you have an animal or whatever, or even a friend, is that like if you have this little baby, you're not supposed to ever discipline it when you're angry, right? It's no different. Like if I have a message that I have to say, of course you have to say it because you need to move forward, but you don't say it in the moments that you're angry. So we have these little things, like if either of us start to get a little agitated and the other one can sense it, it's like, okay, we'll talk later. And we both just respect that let's take a time out, right? So it's having those boundaries and discussing those ahead of time of how you would handle it when the energy arises.
Yeah, and understand that this has been a very active approach for us. This is not something that was easy for us. We have clear agreements with each other. Basically a contract. We have rules and agreements with each other that we honor with each other to make sure that we're always working and communicating well together. And like what my sister said, one of those things is if we ever get into a heated conversation, we realize that is not serving us, we end the conversation so we can allow ourselves to get back to a more level-headed state to then deal with it in a more rational state of mind, because this is years now that we've been working together, so we know what works well for us.
And the thing is, to be honest, I would say that that's something that all business partners do. Like they all have kind of contractual agreements about how they should operate, right? It has nothing to do with just being family, right? Shareholders agreements and things, right? Like there always needs to be some kind of like previously discussed outline of how you deal with conflict, because conflict will come up 100%.
You have to share an example though.
An example.
In the last year something, or in the last 6 months something happened. Think about it.
Let's see. We've been pretty good the last 6 months.
We've been pretty good,
months,
actually.
I mean, in the previous, it's probably some of the older times.
Sure.
See here.
You can share the most dramatic one if you'd like.
Yeah.
That's good, right?
Well, I mean, like we have departments, right? I have a role, I have a hat, and Jessica has a hat.
Right.
So what happens is, of course, we discuss and we talk about things collectively, and we have the opportunity to share. But sometimes what would happen is, even for instance, let's talk about graphic and video editing, right? If one of us has the decision-making power over that. It's like, well, we're going to scrap this part of it. The other person may not appreciate that as much, right? But because one person has the autonomy over it, they get to make the choice. So in that time frame, you know, there could be a little bit of butting heads that happens, right? But we're pretty good at diffusing that now. And again, like, we literally, too bad we don't have them here, we literally have like contracts, right? Like, it's like, these are your rules,
no
these
yelling,
are the responsibilities,
no swearing.
And like, I have my roles and responsibilities, and so does she. So like, if one thing is on her list, I literally have to give up, you know, decision making power on that, because that's her job.
Actually, I didn't think that's where you're going with that. What our biggest fight, I think, at the beginning, when we first were little baby entrepreneurs, is deciding whose job it was. Like, the infamous, like, that's not my job, that's your job. Because you both have plates that are so full. And so it's like, no, that's your job. And then the amount of energy you can go back and forth, like, no, it's your job, no, it's your job, no, it's your job. It's like,
and
okay.
then you can see where the sister aspect comes in under that, right? Because it's just a power struggle at that point.
Yeah.
It's like, no, I'm using the bathroom first. No,
Interesting.
Yeah,
Super
yeah.
cool. Super cool. Okay, so on that note, I've gained a lot, actually, because as I was alluding before, you two are talking, and I could see like there's a lot of positive synergy between you two. It's just in my mind, I'm like, can I ever do it? Is it even possible? Like, you know, of course it's obvious you guys have put in. It just didn't happen overnight. It's not like you guys were lucky. You guys have put in a lot of work.
Yeah, definitely.
So when it comes to partnership, I think one thing that I'm learning right away is, with everything in life and with all relationships, partnerships also require a lot of work and time.
Yes.
Right?
Yes. You can imagine it that we've been married for 30 some years. That's essentially like, you know, and you talk to any married couple that's been together for 30 years, the first thing they'll say is, oh, it wasn't easy.
Yeah.
Oh, it was work. It was hard work.
Yeah.
What I will say though is, like, when you go through those really hard times and then you make it through it, you actually become even deeper in that relationship. Because like, we had points that we literally never thought we could be in even deeper of a relationship, but we go through a really high friction period, we'll call it, and then when we come out of that, we actually have a much more connected, stronger relationship together.
And I think what really stood out is, initially when you guys started, you guys had ground rules or a contract. Like, for instance, no yelling, you were saying?
Yeah, no yelling, no swearing. Yeah.
No, that came later.
That came
we
later?
didn't start with that.
Yeah.
So, yeah, you can see
And
how
it's been revised.
progressed. Yeah,
It's been revised?
Yeah. And then like, it's so funny, because when you're starting to implement a system, you don't always follow it right away, right? It's just like, oh, we all have a January 1st, we all have these New Year's resolutions, and like 2 weeks later, you're not really following them.
Right.
So we have that same kind of issue with having this contractual agreement. We'll be like, you're not following the rules.
Yeah.
That could become another fight, right?
Yeah.
So do you guys feel that you have to look at the contract rules now, or it's kind of embedded in your relationship, like, with time?
Yeah, no, I think we're at a space now that is good. Like, we don't really have that anymore, and now it's more second nature.
Yeah.
We've already done.
We've learned the behavior now, so it's now there, right?
And you know what's really cool about it is, if you're in such a close relationship as you guys are sisters, and then you become business partners, then people feel, like a lot of people feel, as I felt before coming here, that would be quite destructive for one's life. But if you amalgamate them and their synergies, that actually enhances the experience of your life, because you're spending a lot more time with family than you would have otherwise.
Yeah, 100%.
Definitely, absolutely. And you know, it's so exciting to be able to share something with someone you love, right? Like, something you love, your business, with someone you love, it's just an amazing experience together. And because you go through so many hardships together, again, like, when we come out of those, we're way more bonded together and we're way closer.
Absolutely. Awesome. Well, on that note, I would thank for your time.
Yeah.
It's a Sunday, it's a day off for you guys, and you guys took precious time out of your schedule to be here, so that's amazing. Big thank you. And before we part ways, would you guys mind telling people who are watching online, if people want to, like, order your product, how would they go about it? I'm here, I'm interested, but for other people who are watching, what about them?
Basically, you can order everything online. It'll directly ship to your house. Actually, we didn't get to talk about Dollar Eyelash Club.
Yeah.
So Dollar Eyelash Club is a subscription-based eyelash service where you can get lashes for as low as $1 shipped right to your door. All of them are 100% cruelty-free. They are vegan, right? And they're made from a high-quality human identical keratin protein. So they feel and look like real hair.
Yes, strip lashes.
Yes.
Strip lashes.
So for those ones, you can go on to www.dollareyelashclub.com to order. And then our hair products you can order at www.naven.com.
Okay.
So that's NVENN.com.
And I'm going to post that right under the comment section on my Facebook. I'm going to post it down so you guys can actually go and click the link.
Yes, and I'll give him the giveaway link again. So if you want to try to enter to win free products for yourself, www.naven.com/giveaway.
Awesome.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you. Appreciate your time, guys.
Yeah.
Yes, and stay
This is good.
connected with us too. So at Naven Hair Beauty, you can get with us on Instagram, YouTube, all of them.
I'm going to post your Instagram handles. I'm going to post this video on my Instagram, so I'm going to post your handles there as well.
And we'll
Okay.
do the same for
Awesome.
him.
Awesome. Okay.
Yes.
Thank you, guys. Until
Bye.
next time.
See you.